And welcome to 2 Minutes to Target. And when I do a lot of my longer range shooting, I end up going out to places like this where it's more hilly terrain, sometimes mountainous terrain. And in many cases, to be able to get the ranges I want to get to, I've got to set my target up on a hillside. Now, most of the target stands out there for steel are something like this, which are four legs, and they work exceedingly well. But they kind of have to be on flat ground. Or you have something like this, which is a single post, which has a wider base. Again, not going to really work on a 30-degree hillside. And then, what I had been working with are things like this, which are another single post that have a spike that go in the ground. But I found that after just a handful of hits, in many cases, if you're dealing with dry ground or something, they'll fall over. So I really needed something that was more of an all-terrain stand, something that could take the force of a Magnum round hitting it, and also something that's relatively quick and portable to be able to set up. And so I designed my all-terrain tripod stand, something you can build yourselves out of parts, for the most part, that are available at a local hardware store. So here are all the parts I used to put this together. Now, first off, the black bag there is not really a part of this, but it's a very easy carrying case. I got this off of Amazon. It's a 39-inch tripod case, and I'll put a link on my website for that. Now, over here on the left, you've got these stakes, and these are just aluminum tiki torch stakes. They work okay. I'm going to be looking for something better, but they work for right now. There's a mallet, always handy to hammer things in. And then over on the right side, we've got three 3/4 inch, 36-inch long galvanized steel pipes. And then right next to those, we've got 1-inch pipes that I've drilled, so I can use a push pin to adjust the length that I use for this other piece next to it, which is 1-inch aluminum pipe. And then I've got a couple fittings, some 3/4 inch elbows, and then some 1-inch T fittings, which you'll see where those go. And then also I ended up buying these AR 500 target hanging hooks, which work out really well. All right, so let's go ahead and get going. So again, we're going to start with one of these. We've got the second one, got a third one, got my elbow. I'm going to go ahead and, this is only like my second time putting it together, but I'm going to go ahead and screw in the crossbar. Got to put on my hook. Got to put on my T. And got to put on my other hook. So there you have it. That's what it's looking like. And then I'm going to put on my other elbow. Then the other leg. All right, so now we got this thing doing its thing. Put on one of the tiki torch feet. And you do have to kind of screw these in pretty good. They don't like to go into the ground super well, but I may put an indent in here so they don't ride up. Just a little teeny beginning of a hole. Go ahead and put in the pipe. As far up as I can go with it. All right, let's go ahead and set this up. Yeah, I'm about square up now. All right, I mean, this is, bring this out back a little ways, but this is pretty good. I'm actually really happy with it. I mean, I can put all my weight on this thing, and it's not going anywhere. All right, so let me go get the target. Wow, that's really
freaking solid. I'm liking this.
All right, so now let's look at why this design works better than those that have four legs and are meant for flat ground. So first off, you're still going to have the angle on the front legs like you do on the four-legged stand. And if you're on flat ground, the one rear leg is going to be at the similar angle. So it's really not a whole lot different. Where this design really shines is when you start to get onto more sloped and uneven ground. So what can happen here is you can still keep that front angle. You can rotate that back leg to where you need it and shorten the back leg to meet the uneven ground. And then also the fact that it's got three legs instead of four actually makes it more stable. So let's go ahead and put this to the test under fire from my 300 PRC. Whoop, hold on a second. Before we get started, I just want to pause this and put in some lines, some arrows to show the distance between the leg of the stand and the edge of the target. So first shot of the day, 850 yards. Wind pushed it a little bit to the right side of the target. I'm actually not going to adjust my point of aim for this next shot and see where it hits. All right, sorry to interrupt again, but let's just take a look. Let's put those arrows back up that we put on the first one and look at this. The target has moved to the right a little bit, so this bears some watching as we take some more shots. All right, so that hit in pretty much exactly the same spot, so the wind's holding steady, but let's pause this and bring back in those arrows again, and look at this. The target moved again. So I keep testing. This time I dial in a few tenths to the left and take another shot. All right, well, that was a good hit, but you can tell that I'm not happy. And why am I not happy? Well, because that target keeps walking to the right, and that means I've got to make a change.
So here we are, looking close up at this target. And again, you can see where it just walked, even though I had fixed it. And that's because this thing's at an angle. And, again, when you're setting up in the hills, you can't be sure that this top bar here is going to be flat. So I think an easy fix for this, honestly, is a bushing that I'll put here and another bushing that I'll put here. These slide on to the outside of that. And that way, if it's like this guy, the one on this side, would stop the whole thing from sliding any farther past the bushing. Or if it's tilted the other way, whatever the other way would be, the other way, then the bushing that's over here is going to stop this guy from rolling. So I think that's going to be an easy fix. So I'll document that and show off what that is and put it at the end of the video here. All right, so here's the solution that I found. These are called shaft collars with a set screw, and you can do a search for the right size. 1 inch will not work because the pipe is a little bit above 1 inch on the outside diameter. So this is 1 1/8. It's a little bit larger. Again, you can see that set screw is a 5/32 Allen set screw. And then all they do is they go on and they get set in place with the set screw. And those don't move. You don't even have to tighten them that tight, and they don't move. So this is kind of cool because now what you can do is you put one on this side, and then the other's going to go on the other side, but you got to first put on the T fitting, and then this one. Again, you're going to put it into place, tighten it up, and now this isn't going to go anywhere, but then when you put on the hook, that's going to stay in place. That is just not going to slide one way or the other if you're off kilter on the hillside. So this is a really effective solution. Again, it's pretty cheap. I found these at Global Industrial. Again, for I think it was $2.79 or something like that per plus shipping. So I bought 5 of them just to have some extras. The nice thing is, if you change target size, just loosen it up, slide it, put it back in place, put your hook on the outside, and again, just hang it and you're good to go.
All right, so now it's time to put this to the test. And to do that, we're going to take my first time long range shooting friend, Chris. Never fired past 200 yards before. And he's going to be putting a few on target at 850 yards to see how this thing fares.
Bonk. Keep going. Put 5 right next to each other there. Nice shot. Dead center. All right, so here's Chris's 5 shots. These 2 are nice and tight. This was your last one. Went in and hit off on. This is your last one right over here. That went in and hit off on the edge. Looking at the setup with the shaft collars. This just isn't moving at all, and we're on a pretty hefty angle here, so I'm pretty happy with how the stand is holding up. Now this is only 5 shots, but I don't see any reason why this wouldn't hold up better than this. So I'm happy. I've got a low-cost, all-terrain steel stand for taking up into the mountains with me.